My name is Emma Kay, and I'm from a company called Boza. And Boza, even though we're situated in South Africa, is a Pan-African product. And the whole emphasis around Boza kind of was birthed out of frustration from my side. My history goes back in the world of content. So I used to have an animation company, and it was the leading animation company in sub-Saharan Africa for a good 10 years. And during that time, I really understood how valuable content is. And when I mean content, I'm talking animation, film, music, poetry, any kind of real content. And during that time, I was, really aware of the fact that if you've got a great piece of content, you still need to have access to a camera, you have to have access to money, you have to have access to a broadcaster. And I became really frustrated with that process. It just takes a long time. So it means that if you're a content provider, it's limited, If you kind of got something you really want to talk about passionately, you can either do it in your tavern or you've got to find a place and go to a broadcaster or something like that. So I sold my company, and we went into mobile because I felt that the mobile phone was going to be the device, the platform that Africa was going to start using. And it was a time when everyone said, no, it's too soon, and you're mad, which is always a good thing for me. As long as you tell me I'm mad, then it's all good. And we started working in mobile and working with Nokia, and we became the top 5 globally for Nokia, developing all their flash content. And it really gave me an understanding of how powerful mobile can be. So the right content on the right platform is a very, very powerful place. So really what kind of unfolded over time was, as I started to really engage more with the mobile platform, I was always quite alarmed and surprised that when I looked at the kind of content that is on the mobile platforms, in other words, the Safarikoms, the Airtels, the Vodacoms, the MTNs, all operators across Africa, not highlighting anyone specifically or any of the aggregators, there was almost little to no relevant local content. Content was made by local communities, for their community, by their community. And I was kind of really shocked by that. So I was always questioning, is the reason for that because people don't want local content, or is it just because there isn't, people are downloading what's available? So we did a test, and we did a proof of concept where we worked with 7 filmmakers who've never made films before. And we worked with them on using a regular Nokia handset and showed them how to make content. It's, taking an idea that you feel passionate about, but using a mobile device to tell your story. And then we uploaded it on our platform, and in 2 days we had 40,000 users and over 170,000 users in the first 2 months. So most people know how to take a photograph, but taking a video has a certain kind of skill attached to it. So in other words, you can't move your hand that quickly because you just lose your visual. You can't take big establishing shots like of a football field because you never see the football on a small screen. It's short, medium close-ups, keeping a slow, steady cam, making sure the audio is correct and that you've got a mic that you can hear. So it's really very basic things, but they're fundamental in being able to shoot using a mobile phone for a mobile screen. Because don't forget, our screens are small. It's not a normal TV or a PC. So that's what we just took people through, a basic profile of how to do shooting. Based on the success of that, Boza was born, and the focus around Boza is really, for me, and it's critical that I put this across, is that for the first time it's about putting the content provider, in other words the artist, the filmmaker, the poet, the photographer, at the top of the financial pyramid. So in other words, it's not just about taking your music and giving it to an aggregator or an operator and you get a very small amount of money at the end of the day. And it's very difficult to build a fan group around your content. So the aim of Boza is kind of threefold. The first, we provide a distribution mechanism for artists that have never really had exposure before. So we give you access. For the first time, you have access. Secondly, is that we allow you to start developing your own consumer base, your own fan base. It's important that you start talking about it. You create your environment around your community who like your content. And third is that we build in mechanisms where you can start earning money. Not at the moment, but probably around June or July, that's when the financial rewards will start to come in. And how that works in real tangible ways is that, let's say you have music that you want to get out there, or you're a poet. Poetry is one of our biggest channels at the moment. We give you your own channel. So it's no longer about putting a piece of poetry onto a web or a piece of music onto an operator or an aggregator. It means for the first time you, as an artist, have your own channel. You can put in that channel whatever you want. You can put your videos, you can put the lyrics of your songs, you can put your own poetry if you're a poet as well. We're not restricting what you can put in your channel. You talk about your content to your friends, to your family, and it's the same viral effect. It starts to grow and it starts to grow. Because underpinning the channel is a whole social network, a bit like Facebook. So you'll have a feed of all your friends that are watching, what they were listening to, what they're writing about. People can fan you, or rather follow you. They can put a comment. So you can really start to see how people engage with your content. So that's kind of the essence of Boza. And the focus has been on Africa, a Pan-African rollout. And it's literally from Lagos right down to Cape Town. And in the next 5 to 6 weeks, so what are we now, the 23rd of February, in the next 5 to 6 weeks, we're going to be focusing specifically on Kenya. And what that means is it will be highlighting Kenyan artists, Kenyan musicians, Kenyan poets. We're looking at strategic relationships in Kenya, where we can look at how we might be able to integrate into radio, integrate into particular magazines, potentially into the operators. So really focusing on giving Kenya the spotlight and showing what amazing creative talent that there is in Kenya. On a technical side, what the application does is it'll go, as soon as you download Boza.mobi, you go to, and it downloads the application. Technically, it asks your permission, and if you agree, it will basically go into your address book and it will pull out all of the people on your address book. So anyone who's on Boza will immediately show on your address book. At the beginning, you probably don't have many people who are on Boza, so you can basically add friends. So you can add your friends, you can refer friends, so you can do it technically. And then also it's about being able to engage with word of mouth. So if you're a poet and you're doing an open mic session, you start referring people to your channel. So what we're explaining to artists is that a lot of people don't really look at how they can strategize from a business perspective around their content. Some of them might have a website, some of them might have Facebook, some of them might have Twitter. So what we're kind of describing to content owners is see Boza as your second home. And the artists who are doing that are seeing huge success. And what I mean by second home is I'm at home, I'm doing my music, I'm doing my poetry, but then I need somewhere to put it digitally. And Boza is the place to put it. Use all the other tools, all the other points of social media to use that as a way of driving it to one central place. And that one central place is Boza. So talk about it on Facebook. Tell everyone on Facebook. Twitter about it. Tweet about it. On your website. Drive everything back to Boza, because the bigger your market, the more potential you have of earning money. So on the business model, and I think this is important for content providers to hear, is that as we start getting more and more into the market, the potential of earning income is more and more. So based on your success, 50% of all advertising revenue goes back to the content provider. That's the first thing. Secondly, when we open up the shop, so you as a content provider will have a virtual shop. So if you can think of something like Amazon, you will have your own shop front, which will happen around about May or June. And in that shop, you can sell value-added products and services. And 70% of all income you make in that shop comes back to you. So the first time, content providers are actually seeing the upside of their content. And I'll give you a real-life example. One of our successful shows is a cooking program, and all the content is free, which means that they're building consumers, they're building customers, they're building loyalty. Based on that loyalty, consumers are willing to pay for something that they see value in. So in the virtual shop environment, The cooking show is going to start selling recipe books, recipe tips, etc., etc., and people are willing and happy to pay for that. So they're getting something for free, and then they're happy to pay for something. The process of shooting on a mobile device is actually very easy. It's really about storytelling, and inherently we are all storytellers. So it's really about just taking your mobile, using it, often it's keeping your hand in to keep it steady, and you basically shoot with your mobile phone. One of our filmmakers who's never shot a film in her life made, or actually many of them, but this one particular lady, Amanda, she shot a video around a particular social issue, which was a very important social issue for her. A very compelling piece, and she put it out into her community, and the community basically were very, very supportive, because for the first time someone was doing a visual story about a social issue there's a problem in her township, and that is a social issue around rape. She, in the fact that she exposed the subject matter, she made a very compelling video. Suddenly a lot of parents, a lot of single mothers started to identify with her. So a community basically came through her phone around support for single mothers on how to bring up their children, from everything from school, from tips on homework, on what's happening in terms of medication. So just from a simple film, a community started to emerge, and very powerful. Oh.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So I just want to say to everyone out there is that the mobile is here, and it is for everyone. So anyone can make content, and we have given you the distribution platform to finally get your content out into your market and your community. For more information, go to www.bozza, that's BOZZA.mobi, and download the application and experience it for yourself. And enjoy it.
Thanks.